Greg Gutfeld with Kimberly Guilfoyle, Juan Williams, Jesse Waters, and a thermos is her bomb shelter. Dana Perino, the 5. Good thermos. When they send people, President Trump sends troops.
I've been speaking with General Mattis. We're going to be doing things militarily. Until we can have a wall and proper security, we're going to be guarding our border with the military. That's a big step. We really haven't done that before, or certainly not very much before.
Well, it's a plan, which means to the media, it's a crackdown. Yet any response short of waving the caravan through is drastic. But if you want to prove a need for that wall, send 1,000 people to our border as a political stunt. I mean, are we sure Trump didn't plan this? You'll never get a better visual aid for his argument. Thanks, Honduras. Fact is, all societies frown on line cutting. Without a line, you have chaos. The exception, dire need. At the ER, a heart attack trumps the flu, even if the flu got there first. And that's why the caravan backfired. It was political, calculated, designed to challenge the idea of a border. And it hurts everyone who really wants to come here. Just ask anyone who did it legally. And you wonder why Trump's approval climbs. Yeah, there are daily shifts, but the story is the long-term trend, not the absolute level of approval. So why the rise, even as the media pushes collusion, stormy, and chaos? Could it be that America loves the underdog and the media's made Trump into that very thing? By relentlessly demonizing him, controversies become background noise to other things in life. The other things being job numbers, tax cuts, terror, progress with a looming nuclear threat that is North Korea, and yeah, immigration. So despite a panicky press, issues seem to matter more to you than the media's mud. And perhaps those obsessing over the latest rumor may actually be helping Trump out. How hilarious. The same network that elected Trump, CNN, may end up re-electing him. We said this before, Jesse. Every time something happens immigration-wise, it's not about the wall, it's about Trump. They actually canceled the caravan. So the caravan was coming here. They canceled it. Why? Because of Trump's reaction. Ergo, which I think is the correct word, ergo, Trump is the wall. There you go.
Can you use the line that you used?
Caravan became caravant.
Very good. All right, that's what we wanted to hear.
Okay.
You should have just stolen that.
I should have, but you know, I'm such an honest broker, Dana.
Yeah. You are an
Everybody
honest
knows.
broker.
Look at how corrupt the media is. So when Obama sends National Guard to the border, he's considered really tough. And then Trump sends National Guard to the border, and he's considered racist. Same thing with Syria. I mean, look, Obama said, okay, let's pull out all the troops from Iraq. He was considered very intelligent. And then President Trump's considering pulling out troops from Syria, and he's considered reckless. I think the reason his popularity is going up is because he's defending the country with strength. If you look at what's happening on the border, all he's doing is defending the country. He's defending workers' wages, he's defending our safety, he's defending the territorial integrity of the country, and he's defending national security. The Border Patrol agents themselves want the wall. Let's give the workers what they want. I thought that's what the Democrats wanted, Juan. And if you're anti-wall and if you're anti-troops on the border, you must be pro-cartel, because I'll tell you what. All the heroin coming across the southern border from Mexico and the United States, the cartels are sending it. Every time a migrant pays a coyote, the coyote then pays the cartel. The only people making money on the border are the cartels. The only thing that's going to stop the cartels are a wall and troops. How else are you going to fight the cartels? Not with the Peace Corps. Illegal immigration costs this country $100 million a year. The wall costs $200 billion. The wall costs $20 billion. I'm not very good at math, but to spend 20 to save 100, that makes sense to me.
Juan, I think he directed that at you.
Yes.
You're for the cartel.
Yes.
I know.
Please confess
the
now.
thing about
Check his pockets.
The thing about listening to Jesse is you don't know where to start. You just listen and your heart gets heavy.
Start by naming one thing I said wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Well, his eyes
I don't know
rolled
how
up
to
to the top of
start.
his head
For
3
example,
seconds.
do you know, Jesse, that in fact most illegal drugs do not come across our southern border?
Heroin's coming across the southern border,
Jesse,
and that's where it comes
let me just
from,
tell
Juan.
you something. More people are killed by prescription drugs used illegally. I think it's something like 2 times as many as people killed by heroin. But in terms of...
And we're fighting that crisis as
slow
well,
down.
so why not fight
you know
the
what?
heroin
If
coming
you
across?
can't win when I talk, I understand. But otherwise, let me talk.
Okay, go ahead.
So you have a situation where if you say, this is because we want to stop drugs, It doesn't make sense because guess what? So many of the drugs are not coming across the border. They're coming from legal ports of entry where they are in airplanes or ships that are legal entry and secretly stationed there. And that's how they're getting it, not across this border. Look,
Wrong.
this is, okay, fine. You go ask the people at the Drug Enforcement Agency because that's what they say.
But why are they so why are the people that work on the border so grateful to President Trump?
Because I think they'll take anything they can get, but it doesn't
they need the help.
Well, no, if this was poor people, you guys would be saying, oh, those poor people, they just want the government to give them anything they can. Why are we spending money for nothing?
Juan, so
No,
the
let me
Border
finish.
Patrol workers are the only government workers you don't support.
No, I support everyone. I especially support, by the way, our FBI and CIA, who are being always beleaguered and belittled by this president.
Changing subject.
But I just want to finish this
Only
point.
I get to
leaking
Kimberly
James
because she's
Comey.
been away.
No, but I just
Well,
think it's
no
so
one knows
important
that,
to say that what we have here is a president who is desperate. I think he's so upset by Ann Coulter's attacking him for his failure to build a wall or to gain funding for a wall that now he says, you know what, I'm going to send troops. And Jesse, here's another thing you were wrong on.
What's that?
Obama and Bush sent troops, but guess what? They sent them, one, in a situation where those young people, the children were coming in big numbers, one, or two, to act in terms of administrative aid so that the Border Patrol agents
When
could
Obama
do their
said
jobs.
the Border Patrol
This guy
agents were
says-
making sandwiches.
This
for
guy
the
says
illegals.
he wants to send them there like a military. This is such baloney.
Listen, anything
Kimberly.
to stop the crossing.
Kimberly,
Yes, I'm going to shut you both
Speak.
down. I'm going to build a wall right here. It's going to be big
So walls
and
work.
beautiful and pink. Here's one of the most ridiculous things that Juan just said right now, which is that basically Ann Coulter is like Helen of Troy.
Yeah.
And the president got so upset with Ann Coulter being upset that he is now sending all of the troops to the border because he's worried about. Did I get you correct on
Yeah, I
that?
think Ann Coulter,
Okay.
he worries that Ann Coulter represents so many of the Trump people who
She is
believe,
symbolic of
he's
it.
going to build a wall, and guess what? There's no wall.
Okay, well, guess what? He's going to build.
stop
a
saying
wall.
guess what for just
And-
one show?
But we have to mimic back to Juan because then he understands what we're
Thank you.
saying.
Yes.
Juan speak. It's Juan speak.
I appreciate
He's
it.
going to build the wall, and he's going to enforce the laws that are on the books and uphold immigration and make sure that we prevent against illegal entry. What is wrong with that? There's
Can I
no
speak? Can I-
injustice
want me to
there. This
respond
is
to you?
about being for justice and for
Okay.
honoring the laws on the books.
Okay, so my response to you is most illegal immigrants overstay their visas. They don't come across any border, including our southern border.
a
And we
distraction.
do enforce the laws.
all right, Dana.
Well, they shouldn't be doing that either. as
Dana,
a
welcome
matter
to the
of
show.
fact.
Thank you.
Good to have you
Thank
here.
you.
I believe, when I look at Donald Trump, I always try to assume that he has no ideology because everything seems to change. But I kind of think that his ideology is based on order and the idea that cutting in line in any shape or form is seen as somehow wrong.
Well,
right?
there is a fundamental value of fairness
Yeah.
that runs through everybody, and that's
Yes.
like, even like in any culture,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with children, everybody understands fairness.
Yeah.
And as you get older, you add things on to that, and for what you necessarily think is fair. One thing to the poll numbers that I wanted to bring up is that Gallup had one the other day that. It wasn't specific to President Trump, but it is about this moment in time, if you take the last couple of years. It's the first time in many years that young people, now a majority of them, 61%, believe that they will be better off than their parents. From about 2009 till maybe even last year, that number was almost below 50%. And people started really worrying about the American dream because
Right.
every generation had done better. And so the economy, I think, is part of that. Perhaps law and order as well, but the fairness issue is one that everybody can understand.
Yeah, I think that's why the caravan presented such a visual. Like people laugh about the wall, but then you have this caravan, and you go, the only thing that can stop a caravan is a wall.
I also think that the Hondurans, the government of Honduras was not happy about
Right.
the caravan.
Yeah.
The Hondurans have tried to be very helpful to the president. They're cooperative on the DEA issue. They are asking for our support and help. Nikki Haley promised that they would have more of it. And remember, they were one of the only two countries, Honduras and Guatemala, that backed up the president when he wanted to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
To your point about fairness, Dana, I'd like to pose this question to Juan. So we have a nice little cafe underneath the building called Fresh, and that's where people line up and go get their salads. Let's pretend you're lined up for a salad, and you see someone just egregiously cut in front of you and start ordering a salad in front of you. Do you think that's fair, Juan?
It's actually
first of all,
to the
let me-
side of the building, not underneath, but yes.
No.
And then
why
not
would I-
pay.
Okay, so why is it fair when illegal aliens cross the southern border and cut in line for everybody else who's waiting to become U.S. citizens?
Who said it was fair?
You don't mind if they come in. You say, oh, they're coming in.
You didn't say
People
that.
come
I
this
never
way.
said any such thing. That's your caricature because you can't deal with the real argument.
Okay, what is the real argument then?
The
Do
real
you think it's
argument
fair or
is
not?
that we have a 47-year, I think it's 1971, was the last time crossing that southern border was at this low a level. And yet you have your guy, the guy that you and Greg are trumpeting and celebrating.
Trump or
hosannas
celebrate. I just present
to the
what my
Emperor
opinion,
Trump.
which is objective.
No,
Juan.
it wasn't
Come on.
objective.
You're
because-
better than that,
Let me
Juan.
just say, when you guys are saying hosanna to Trump, let me just tell you something.
Yes.
There is
the highest.
no reality except that he is acting. He's like the guy standing on the corner. I would send troops to the border, buddy. I'm a tough guy.
300,000 illegal aliens were
Why would-
caught crossing the border last
gosh.
year. Think about the ones we didn't catch.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot. If
Seems
Mexico
like-
can
it
have a
seems
fence
like we
on
got-
their southern border, why can't
It
America?
seems like we got bigger problems
Well, and
than
no, it-
President Trump's need to massage his ego.
Well,
One of them
if
is Juan
Russians,
Williams.
if
Last word,
Russians
Kimberly.
were crossing the border, I'm sure
All
you'd
right,
want
kids.
the wall.
Sure, I would.
Okay, so let's
Kimberly,
join forces.
wrap it all
Ay,
up.
Dios mío. Silencio, por favor. So, you understand that. No, I think the thing is that the president's going to do whatever it takes to honor his promises is something that he's actually been quite serious about and consistent about enforcing the borders and immigration and the laws on the books. And if he needs to send troops, then he's going to do it. It's well within his rights and his authority to do so.
Yeah, and I don't know how people are. This is the guy who ran on Law and Order. It's the, the three-legged stool: national security, border, and law enforcement.
99 members of MS-13 arrested yesterday, too. So,
All right, we got to move on. Ahead, gun control activists are lashing out at the NRA for yesterday's attack at YouTube. Next.